Calgary Flames took an absolute beating last night to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the result left many fans questioning if the team can keep pace in the playoff race. Well, we have a few updates, including roster updates and statistics that Flames fans will find interesting, and some of them may have major implications for the team moving forward. We're going to get into all that and more in this video, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. And before we get into this hockey talk, I do have a special message for you. March is one of my favorite times of the year, and that is because March Madness is here. And that's why I'm very excited to announce that we are kicking off a March Madness bracket for the channel. We've partnered with the Hot Takes app and other Digest channels for this event. It's completely free to sign up. Just download the Hot Takes app, click the March Madness banner at the top, and under group select the Digest Media Pool. This is really exciting as there are over $35,000 in prizes to be won. And since there's a much smaller pool of people participating, there's a real chance in winning big compared to other bracket challenges out there. Check out the link below or scan the QR code to download the app, and make sure to use the promo code DIGEST in all caps to get exclusive perks when signing in. Again, it is completely free to sign up. If you have any issues signing in, you can go ahead and check the email down below and we will be able to help you out, and we cannot wait to see you in the bracket challenge. There's still time to sign up, and I would definitely recommend it. You still have a couple days to get your bracket in, and make sure you use that referral code DIGEST. We want to get a nice group going and really show how much ball knowledge us puck guys have. Well, let's get into the video and talk about last night's game, which isn't something most of us are going to want to talk about. So if you had to endure it by watching it last night, feel free to skip this chapter, the first chapter of this video. But in case you missed it, the Flames lost 6-2 to the Toronto Maple Leafs over in the 6. The 6 puts up 6. And it was just not great. I mean, the special teams was kind of atrocious, especially the penalty kill. They didn't get a single kill all night. So it really wasn't a great game at all. And it really, kind of dampened some spirits during this playoff race, which is completely understandable. But, I mean, in a playoff race, you got to just kind of sometimes take them on the chin and keep going. But overall, a rough loss for the Flames, who twice this year kind of got a little bit destroyed by the Leafs, and especially William Nylander. But if we get into the box score, this is probably the worst stat line that Dustin Wolf has put up in his NHL career so far, as he actually ended up getting pulled in this one, which I'll have more info on that later in the video. But he obviously got the start, gave up 5 goals on 26 shots, just the .808 save percentage, and since he got pulled, the 7.50 goals against average. Not good at all. The one thing I will say is, believe it or not, if you missed this game, Dustin Wolf kept the Flames in this game in the first period. I think he made something like 13 or 14 saves in the first, and the game was actually tied after one period. Wolf was playing really well, but unfortunately, again, the Leafs power play was just way too much for the Flames penalty kill, and they hung him out to dry. Obviously, this wasn't Wolf's best game, but again, anyone who is blaming Wolf for the loss really has no idea what they're talking about. Vladar came in relief, I guess we can say, and his stat line was also garbage, as he gave up 1 goal on 3 shots. The .667 save percentage. I mean, again, anytime you're coming in relief, you're not expected to do anything crazy, but not great by either goaltenders in terms of statistics. But if we get into the skaters who got on the score sheet, Kevin Ball, he ended up getting a goal right at the end of this game. It was one of those, as a Flames fan, hey, last goal wins kind of moments that you used to have in practice back in the day. Last goal wins, Kevin Ball scored, Flames win. That's exactly how it goes, right? The other goal scorer was actually his defensive partner in Rasmus Andersson. So those were the 2 goal scorers, Raz and Ball. Pospisil gets an assist. Dryden Hunt gets an assist against technically his former team. And then Huberdeau and Sharangovich also got assists on the night. Props to the Flames, who actually ended this game with a positive plus-minus. I mean, some of those guys might have been on for the penalty kill or the power play goals against, but still, that's not how plus-minus works. So, I mean, props to them for in a 4-goal loss. That's how it goes. But again, Not the best game, especially for this playoff race. And where does that lead us? Well, let's get into some updates. And the first one I'm going to take a look at is kind of a standings update. How is the playoff race going over here in the Western wildcard race? So Ryan Pike tweeted this out. No movement in the West wildcard race after the Flames lost, but all 4 teams are in action on Tuesday, which is, of course, today. So Vancouver actually has that spot right now. They're at 73 points, and they've played 67 games. The Flames down at 71. They're actually in 10th because St. Louis also has 73 points, but they've played 68 games. So the Flames have a couple games in hand on the Blues. But it's getting tough. It really is getting tough. Utah also making a push there. They're tied on points with Calgary, and the Flames do have a game in hand on them as well. But interesting schedules coming up if you look here. All 4 of these teams play on both Tuesday and Thursday. Vancouver has Winnipeg and St. Louis, so tough there. St. Louis has Nashville and then Vancouver, of course, who we just saw. A little bit easier with the Nashville matchup, but that Vancouver-St. Louis game is going to be huge for the Flames. The Flames in tough. I mean, they play at Madison Square tonight against a Rangers team that also currently holds down, the second wildcard spot, just like Vancouver. So that'll be a very tough matchup, especially after playing in Toronto last night. And then New Jersey on Thursday as well. New Jersey kind of struggling a little bit, but trying to maintain their playoff position as well, 3rd in the Metro. So again, another very tough matchup. And then Utah has Edmonton and Buffalo. So, again, a more difficult one over in Edmonton and a bit of an easier one against Buffalo back in Utah. So the standings are going to look a lot different on Friday. Let's just put it that way. These matchups are huge, and obviously the Flames need to get some wins down the road. But let's get more into about Dustin Wolf and kind of an update about him. So post-game in Toronto, head coach Ryan Huska says pulling Dustin Wolf after 40 minutes was about getting him ready for his next start with lots of hockey down the stretch. Here's his quote: "By no means was this on him tonight in that situation. I think everyone involved kind of knew that. But it's good to know that he kind of wanted to give Wolf some rest as they knew the Flames were playing meaningless hockey. They were down, 5-1 or 6-1 going into the third. So I guess it was 5-1. But still, the game was lost by then. Wasn't on Wolf. Get him some rest. I don't think he's supposed to be slated as the starter tonight in New York. But again, at the time of recording, it hasn't been announced. But we'll get into that a little bit later in the vid. Last thing about Wolf. So the last time Dustin Wolf failed to finish a game he started was November 26, 2023, so pretty much a year and a half ago, in the AHL when he allowed 4 goals on 12 shots and a 7-2 Wranglers loss to Abbotsford. It was the second half of a back-to-back. So the last time he was pulled out of a game was second half of a back-to-back in a game where it seemed like the Wranglers weren't doing good at all. It's been a long time since he was pulled. I know that's probably not great for his confidence, but hopefully he knows that this loss was not on him again, as we've been saying. But there's a little update on the standings and Wolfie as well. Now let's mosey on over to tonight's game, where hopefully the vibes will be a little bit better and the Flames will play some better hockey. As we just saw, they are in New York tonight, playing at one of the most iconic sports facilities, definitely in America, if not the world. The Rangers, again, they're playing decent hockey right now, trying to make that playoff push. Kind of shocking that they're in this position. A lot of people thought they'd be much higher up the standings, but it should be an interesting game. There have been a lot of really good Rangers and Flames games, over the years here. I mean, think back to when Trouba was obviously on the Rangers. It always seemed like he'd light us up a little bit, but it should be a fun one. One little note here is that the Flames are set to finish off their 9th back-to-back set tonight in Toronto, following last night's setback in Toronto. That's definitely supposed to say New York. This little screen grab comes from the Flames themselves. So get on it, Flames team. What are you talking about? Tonight in New York, following last night's setback in Toronto. Calgary has a record of 5-4-0 in the first game of back-to-back scenarios and a record of 2-5-1 in game 2 of the back-to-back scenario. So not ideal stat moving forward. The Flames' next back-to-back set will come on March 31st at the end of the month when they travel to Colorado before heading to Utah the following night on April Fool's Day. That's going to be tough as well. It's crazy that the Flames still have these away back-to-back sets. It sucks that that's the way the scheduling goes, but hey, that is the way the scheduling goes. So hopefully the Flames can get back on track tonight and at least play better than they did last night, but they could really use a couple points here tonight to stay in that wild Western race. Now let's get into the comment of the day to wrap up this video. It comes from the last video on the channel, which was kind of about maybe looking at some college free agents the Flames could sign, since they've done that in the past, obviously with Morton last year. But this was a good one from good old Guitar Memoir, and they say we could also sign Flames draft pick Adar Sunyev, who is a bigger at 6'2" and 195 pounds, and younger, 20 years old, and had the same amount of points in 5 fewer games than King played. And absolutely, they should sign him. He's had a ridiculous season in the NCAA, and it is true. I mean, that just kind of shows why he's already Flames property instead of being a college free agent. But absolutely, I mean, there's way more people within the pipeline, or that are at least Flames property, that the Flames could bring in before they bring in any college free agents. But hey, you gotta explore all options, am I right? Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe like you saw here today, and have a wonderful rest of your day.